But wengine wanasema pia unataka kutoka block, you've been bribed or you're someone's
proxy.
Yeah.
People will always say that. And some of the people who say that are even government bloggers saying it. Huh? The only thing that will make a difference, you know, when people say you are a sellout, the only way you can prove you are not is to be consistent. As long as I continue to do the Vampire Diaries, as long as I continue to champion for good governance, as long as I continue to reject things that draw back on our constitutional gains, I'm on cause and I'm on this side. It is true that there are people who pretend to oppose government, but they are actually supporting government. All they are doing is that they are building a profile which later they will use to support government. And they know that the way to build that profile is first to oppose it on this other side. And sometimes they are even funded by the other side. I said myself even on television that I know that there are opposition leaders funded by William Ruto. So it's not uncommon. It happens. But how then can we earn trust? Because it's an issue of trust. The only way to earn trust from the people is to continue relentlessly without fail. Because as long as you stay strong with them, you keep moving with them, you keep identifying with their issues, and you keep fighting for good governance and an end to corruption, those who mistrust you will trust you with time. Trust comes with time. And different people trust differently. Someone will trust you immediately, they listen to you. Another one needs a month. Another one needs a year. Another one needs 2 years. So we have to take these people slowly. Hatuwezi waharakisha. Pole pole tu. But the one who trusts you will stick with you. Okay? And I ask Kenyans to stick with me even in my mistakes.
What's the worst mistake you've done and you regret how Kenyans treated you from that?
A mistake that I've done?
Yes. Or blunder, not necessarily a mistake, you know. It can be a blunder.
None. Because the things that I'm accused of are things that I must do and will continue to do. One of them is public fundraising, where I've been tagged the name The Beggar. I've just changed the name The Beggar into a campaign message. I've said, yes, it's true. I'm a beggar. I don't have enough money to run a presidential campaign. I will have to beg you guys. But you guys are beggars like me. In fact, you called your sister for fare to town. And you were kneeling down begging for a job. And you were lining up for a CDF form. You needed a bursary. And you were begging you created a WhatsApp group to beg for people to raise money for your medical bill when you were sick. We are all beggars, but we are not proud to be beggars. We'd like to stop begging. Therefore, can you support me beggar kwa beggar so that together
see what you did there.
We redeem our country? That's one of the things I'm accused of. Huh? I'm accused of lack of accountability for finances that the public raises for me. I've said I have a 14-member committee, 7 from Kenya and 7 who live abroad. Every month they budget, they spend, and they account. But you cannot post our expenditure on social media or on the internet because we are not just talking to our friends. We are also talking to our enemies. So when we post every single thing on the internet, somebody can tell your life 80% from how you spend money. They can know where you live. They can know how much security you have. They can know what you eat. They can know where you sleep. Therefore, the best way to access that information is come for it. Just come.
So if I come, you will show me?
If you come to inject house, 3 days notice. We need a 3-day notice. If you give us a 3-day notice, we'll tell you come.
What are you doing in 3 days, Morara?
3 days is we are preparing the information that you want. So you're going to tell us you want to know how we spent money or how much we raised between the month of October and December, and how we budgeted it, how we spent it. This information has to be put together for you. Secondly, people are not employed to work at Inject. They are volunteers.
Okay.
These are people who have careers. Someone is a lawyer, they have their own law firm. Another one works in some other company. So for them to be available for you, to come and sit down with you and take you through this, so that you get to understand it, we have to give them notice.
But you have auditors, right?
We do audit our
You know what we'll do? We'll just come to to make the public happy. We will actually come to Inject House. Is it called Inject House?
We will prefer a beautiful report. You will love it.
And we come and list. We can share so
we'll
that
even
this
have
story.
M-Pesa statements. We'll have NCBA bank statements, and we'll have a breakdown of budget and expenditure. And you'll get to understand how this thing goes.
I think that is what we will do. We will go with him for one of those vampire diaries, see how you spend. Also, then now we can see the documents. Maybe welcome. That is easy.
And let me tell you, this thing of public fundraising, much as I've been vilified for it, I'm not going to stop it.
You are not stopping?
I'm not stopping it. Do you know why? If indeed Inject is going to have candidates from MCA to president, these candidates need financing, and most of them are young people, and they don't have that money. If I don't create a culture of fundraising for them, they will be afraid of doing it. Secondly, public fundraising changes the story of campaign financing in Kenya. Because one of the biggest problems we have is a governor spends 300 million to run for governor, and if you look at a governor's salary for 5 years, the most they can ever earn is 120 million. So then you ask yourself, in all common sense and mathematics, why would somebody spend 300 million to earn 120 million? It is because they hope to achieve this money through theft.
Yeah.
The best way for citizens to even feel pain when leaders are misleading their country is when they've contributed for them.
Yeah, because
when you've contributed for a leader, you feel the pain of bad governance. Kenyans need to start understanding that they pay taxes. 90% of Kenyans don't believe they
actually pay. Now we understand. You see, for that movement to have taken place, people now understand what it means to pay taxes. Sort of. It may not be 100%, but we are somewhere.
Unaona mvutaji fegi mwenye ako madhira sahi. Some of them don't know that they pay tax. And these people...
I believe they get to know because the day they have a patient and SHA is not working, when you see those voices of women in markets, wherever saying, now you understand, people actually have gotten to know how leadership affects.
And we need to hammer that in.
Yeah.
So that people don't tell you that, hey, pesa ya serikali inaibiwa. Government money is being stolen. No, your money is being stolen because otherwise, this drink, kuna watu wanakunywanga hii whisky inaitwa county. Hii county ilikuwa inafaa kucost hii pesa. Lakini kwa sababu ya tax, it costs this much. So, ushalipa. Hii fegi unavuta, umelipa tax.
Jamaa wa kamera umetaja county akafurahi sana. Ni kama ako home ground.
Unaona? Once Kenyans understand this is their money, I can tell you they are going to be very personal. And that is why we've seen a change in terms of agitation for good governance. Because people are beginning to understand that this money that's being stolen is actually their money.
And now you remember that statement, hii pesa si ya mama yako bwana. Now they know it is si ya mama yangu, lakini ni yangu.
Ni yangu.
As we come towards the end, President Donald Trump is being inaugurated on 20th of this month.
And he has invited Chinese President Xi Jinping.
How are you seeing that going to be in terms of the Kenya-US relations?
Kenya-US relationship. You know, Donald Trump is the kind of person who talks about America first. So means he always looks out for American interests. And luckily he's a businessman. If I was president, one of the things I would be very interested to have a conversation with him will be trade, okay? How we can increase trade between the partner states, between the US and Kenya, and how we can find markets for Kenyan products in the United States, and how we can reduce the tariffs on Kenyan exports to the United States. The other thing is we've really reduced our partnership with American companies. And I don't think it's a good thing. Kenya has really moved east in terms of even mega infrastructural projects. So you find most of what the US is doing here are donor-funded projects where they are supporting social programs. But most of the infrastructural projects are going to Chinese companies. And the reason mostly our government focuses on Chinese because of the low regulation. and there is no much accountability for corruption. Personally, one of the things I would think about if I was a president who wants to reduce corruption is either to have a proper relationship with the Chinese with regards to their stance about Chinese companies doing corruption here in mega projects, in bribery, to be prosecuted in their country for the crimes they commit abroad, okay? Or to also reduce on how much we give to the Chinese and actually have a bigger partnership with the United States. With regards to issues of GMO and other things, I believe that as a country, there are things that we need to be given our right to choose. We love our food the way it is. We are not complaining. And therefore, GMO works for them. It's not working for us. We are dealing with bigger problems. For example, how climate change is affecting our agriculture. That would be a better area of, relationship rather than the issue of GMO. I don't believe that GMO is what will solve food security in Kenya. But I believe that if we have better climate control or climate response towards agriculture in Kenya to increase yield per hectare, it is a better focus on increasing food production and also bringing more land under cultivation through modern irrigation methods, and even partnering in exchange of information and finding even Kenyan students opportunities in the United States. These are some of the things I think are of more interest and should be at the forefront of a Kenyan president. But now turning over to Trump, I believe he'll focus more. Kila mwamba ngoma uvuta kwake, so he'll focus more on making life better for Americans rather than Kenyans. He's not the president of Kenya, so he doesn't really care about Kenyans. But the Kenyan president should care enough about Kenyans to have a conversation in the United States on areas of partnership.
True that. 2025, what are we expecting from Morara, and what are you looking forward to from Kenya? Number one, you should expect consistency. The same way I've been doing what I've been doing in 2024, I'll continue to do so in 2025. I'll continue to tour government projects, and this time around it's going even to be more efficient because I'm recruiting volunteers from every constituency and every county. So this will not again be a Morara thing. It will be something happening at constituency level. It will be something happening at county level, regional level, even ward level. Okay, so you will see a very structured system. We are going to do an official launch of our party this year, and it will be massive. Fantastic.
It will be massive.
We will be there.
What I expect to do more this year is to complain less and do more. Now, sometimes when you complain too much, you tire people, you emotionally fatigue them. This year, I want to be a solution provider. I want to discuss solutions, and I want the older generation to start feeling like these young people actually know what they are talking about in this country, and given an opportunity, they actually have an idea of how they would fix it. I want to give confidence to the older population that you are not making a mistake to trust the younger people, even with positions of leadership, even in the corporate sector, in the private sector, in your companies. You are not making a mistake. These people are talented, they know how the modern world works, and if you trust them, they can actually bring fortune, not just to your country, but even to your private businesses. So if I conduct myself well this year, I believe I'll open more doors for other young people. I'll kick the door open for many more young people to acquire opportunities. So I need to stand strong. Last year I was a bit moody, especially in the month of November.
Learning maybe.
Because I had not gotten used to doing a good thing then being attacked for it. I was not used to it. I was under this naive belief that if you're doing a good thing, people will celebrate you, people will say you are the best, and if they start castigating you, it's because you're doing the wrong thing. But I came to realize that you can actually be fought for the right thing because people can be resistant to change.
Yeah.
The other thing is I received a lot of support, but again, a lot of criticism. And I came to realize that I was in a classroom learning. Actually, 2024 was my year of learning. I've been learning, number one, to be tolerant to people, regardless of what they say to me, and not to allow what they say to me to get into me, because ships don't sink because they pass through water. They sink when the water passes through them. And I think it is essential for a leader to get used to being insulted, to being criticized, so that when you finally get political power, you don't abduct and kill everyone that talks, ill of you. That you can be a father to people and inspire them, rather than seek to destroy anyone that disagrees with you. You building a consensus, bringing people together to agree with you on a common cause and move with them. So I'm a young man who's been learning to be a father to millions of people. And it's not easy. Because I'm a father to my kids.
2 kids. Now you're dealing with millions.
I know it's easier because the 2 kids have grown them, so they know me.
Yeah.
They know when I'm angry, they know when I'm shouting, they stop. But now, being a father to millions of people, you are becoming a father to thieves. You're becoming a father to elites who have people born of privilege. You're also becoming a father to people who are low, and some of them are poor. You're becoming a father to widows. You're becoming a father to people who believe in God. You're being a father to atheists. You're being a father to heterosexuals. You're being a father to bisexuals who do not believe in heterosexuality. You're becoming a father to people with very varied identities. And to balance these interests and then father them and even find a common ground to move them together as a nation, it's not easy, but it is possible. And I've learned very fast. And I hope that Kenyans will be supportive of me, that my mistakes will not be things that will bring me down, but things that people identify as opportunities to make me learn better.
Yeah, fantastic. Your final message to Kenyans, it's a new year. What are you wishing your followers, viewers?
Let me begin with the people who I'm so passionate about, which is the young people, okay, youths. One thing I can tell them this year, strive to get a job. I know it's not easy to get a job, but just try. Sometimes people will say, mimi sitatafuta kazi, tayari hao watu labda wako na mtu. But sometimes it's chances that they don't have someone. So make an attempt. Number 2, learn skills. Okay? There are skills that you can learn that may not even be relevant to what you've studied in high school or in college, but that will help you. You can learn photography. You can learn to shave someone's head. You can learn to play a new instrument. Just learn a skill. Learn maybe to operate a plant. You can learn computer programming, for example. You can learn video editing. You can learn to dance. Just make sure you learn a new skill this year. Don't be like last year. Then 3, if you don't have a job and don't have something to do, don't be idle in the streets. Sometimes it's also good to volunteer. You can look for a reputable institution, become a volunteer in that institution, and that way they'll get to trust you and see the value of your work, and they may absorb you, or you may learn some valuable experience that you use elsewhere. I know it's difficult to access capital to start businesses, but the other way I can advise you is you can become middlemen or sales experts for people. So you can go to companies which are already established and they have the product, but they do not know how to move it in the market. And because maybe the companies is owned by Gen Xers who don't understand how social media works and algorithm, you can help them move the product or do sales. Then as you earn a commission on the sales, you will build your capital to start your own thing. Lastly, I can tell people, don't be impatient. Everything comes with time. So don't expect quick results. Be ready to work on something until it finally gives in. Siku moja form itajipa. I can tell Kenyans in the diaspora that I remember them, that we love them, that we know they are Kenyans, that we know it's sweeter home than abroad, and that they will really love to come back to our country. Just to remind them that this year we'll be fighting for their right to vote. Okay, so that if you are in the US, you don't just not everybody has to travel to maybe Washington DC to vote. That we can have voting in different places in the United States, in UK, in Europe, in Saudi Arabia, and many other places. We are also fighting for their inclusion in the political space in Kenya. For example, at Inject Party, we are going to give some positions of the National Executive Council to people in the diaspora so they can bring on their expertise and the knowledge that they've learned out there. In fact, this year I'm going on a tour of the US and Europe. So I'll be going to the US, to different states, then Europe. So these are some of the conversations we'll be having. So we remember them and we know the challenges they are going through in the foreign countries where they are. And we love them to come back home, and we are trying to make home a better place. And if there is something they can do, even if it is just technical knowledge, even if it is going to institutions like the World Bank or IMF and getting us information or complaining about this or that, they should do their part so that we move together. And also to remind the families of those that died in 2024 in the Gen Z protest that we love them, we remember them, we honor the loss of their loved ones. We do not take it for granted. We will say their names, we'll remember their names, we'll make them heroes of our country, and they should not feel that they lost. They did not lost. They are, they are mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers of heroes that actually fought for something. So we will not betray their trust, and we will make sure that whatever they were fighting for is achieved. That's what I can say.
Yes. Team Inject, once again, welcome to our channel. We are super excited. The support you've been giving us, it means a lot. May Almighty God bless you. As I told you, we are back. Hope you are doing well, and Happy New Year in advance. So, juzi, kuna gari Morara Kebaso aliweza kupost kwa mtandao. Wengine wakasema amepewa zawadi, wengine wakasema ni pesa ya jinsi yenye amekuwa kichangiwa. So many things, mpaka unakaa hivi unajiuliza maswali mingi aje. You people, you think mtu hawezi akajinunulia gari? Morara alianzanga kazi kitambo, guys. Whereby alianzia Kisii, hoteli inaitwa Ufanisi Hotel, mahali alikuwa na waki kama waiter. Hapo ndiye aliweza kupatana na Honorable Ongwae, the former Kisii County Governor. So huyu ni mtu ambaye alianza kuhaso kitambo, hata akiwa university alikuwa na hustle. And another thing, baba ya Morara Kebaso is not someone like unaweza sema ni mtu wako chini. It's someone who is well off, guys. So I don't know why people always think like zile pesa zenye amechangiwa ndizo hizo amenunua gari. So there is somebody, ya government blogger anaitwa Mchili Gishuri. Yes, aliandika hivi: while millions of Gen Z in Kenya are grappling with unemployment, their self-declared President Morara Kebaso has decided to celebrate himself with a brand new Land Cruiser V8 KDR 370L. So, but even as we join the rest of his skillful followers to congratulate him on this achievement, we want to remind him to focus more on addressing our challenges, not always begging and flaunting luxury. But even yes, luxury, ameandika hivyo. So after aliandika hivyo, Morara Kebaso amekuja aka respond back akisema hivi: this is completely malicious. I started working at the age of 16 washing dishes. I later became an MC in road shows. I was a salesman for salt. I decided to go back to school and finish Form 4. I got my A's and went into being a waiter at Ufanisi Resort as I wait for campus selection. I taught mathematics at Kabiro Secondary School in Kawangware. I sold avocado at Soko Mjinga in Kawangware, very profitable business. I had a hotel at the stage 56, which I co-owned with a guy who used to be a chef at 1824 Club. I joined KU Law School in Parklands campus. I had a wines and spirit business next to Beck's Kahawa Wendani. I gave my life to Christ at Goodley and closed it. I have done online lightings, working for various accounts, Lighter Hub, SA Shack, Lighter Bay, UFO Corp. I worked for Swins Insurance Agents, which gave me an opportunity to travel around the country and see new opportunities, including Tana River, Ola, and Mandera counties. I was a land broker in Kajiado where I managed to sell a 4-acre piece. With the commission I got, I bought my first TV and my first car, where I borrowed the balance from my microfinance, and a decision I regretted. I ran a milk business called Morara Dairies at Ole Kasas B. Ongatarongai. I expanded into fresh juices and learn to make yogurt for YouTube, or learn to make yogurt on YouTube, but it gave me serious losses. I entered Fanta industry as a salesman on commission before having a Juakali workshop. I invested in a car rental business, shipping container business, etc. Last month, I started a car sale company called Morara Drive. I have come a long way. For sure, I'd serve any car that I can afford. In a functioning economy with fair access to capital, I should be employing over 10,000 Kenyans. So anyone suggesting that I have a car because I'm a thief is just hating on me for working hard. That's not fair. Siku zote wanasema raha inakuanga kwa comment section. Mtu akamwambia peleka ujinga huko Ghasia. But you are a thief who doesn't know. You know, Kenyans, sometimes mi ushanga. Morara Kebaso ameanza mambo na politics last year. Amekuwa nafanya hiyo shop yake workshop. Amekuwa na vitu kadhaa before aseme ama aingie mambo na politics. So why do you call him a thief? Why do you call him a conman? This is someone who has been struggling. We have seen youths wako 20s. They have struggled, wako na maisha yao. We have seen people, ama youths wako na miaka kidogo, wako na mabiashara. They are selling cars. They are selling furnitures. They are doing their own business. They have good cars. So you don't have to hate someone because ameingia politics, ama amewamba shilingi 2-3. Sasa anything yenye ana make, unaiona kwamba amewaibia. You know, hii kitu sijaielewa Wakenya. Wakenya, why tuko na akili kama hii? Someone anamwambia mwizi, stop asking for fuel on all repairs. Guys, can you wait for one, scrap for others? Let me tell you guys, ukiwa na roho ngumu ama ukiwa na roho chafu kwa mtu ambaye unaona amefaulu in life, wewe mwenyewe ujue si tunaenda kufanikiwa. Ukiona mwenzaka amefanikiwa, clap for that person. Your day is coming. Don't hate on someone. Usikue wewe ni mtu ambaye umebeba chuki ambayo haitawaisha. Wizi ukaniambia kwamba zile pesa kidogo mmechanga ndizo hizo zimetoshea Morara amenunua V8. Sometimes let's be realistic. Morara came into our lives to show us uncompleted projects zenye tumekuwa tukidanganywa na this rotten government. Ametuonyesha, tumeziona na tumehakikisha kwamba ukweli pesa ya Wakenya imefanya nini? Imekuliwa. And then you are somewhere outside there, somewhere sitting, uko hapo unasema, oh, Morara ameiba, Morara this, Morara that. Guys, come on. Wake up. Just work hard. Vile mwingine na work hard amepata V8 yake, wewe pia, it's not late. Just wake up. Keep pushing. You will reach where amefika. Usiwe wewe ni mtu ambaye unachukia kila kitu mtu akifanya hiki umesema oh ameiba, amenunua na pesa yetu, amefanya hivi. Sometimes we do charity. And then hata ukifaa hii nguo utasikia mwingine anasema sasa si unaona ile pesa yetu yenye tulichanga ndio hiyo amenunua nguo. Yaani huwezi ukapumua. Huwezi ukapumua. Because mtu amechangia kitu fulani, sasa inamaanisha wewe pia hauna maisha. Naonanga mtu anasema, hey, kama si charity yetu, hamngekuwa mnakula, hamngekuwa mnafaa. And I'm like, hey, can you let people be? Because wewe mwenyewe una complain, upewe that opportunity, uambiwe basi. Wewe pia kuja ukaa hapa. Mopeless people, wafanye hiki kitu yenye nimefanya, hautaweza. Ama nikwambie basi umesema mimi sijui kitu unaongea nikiwa nimekaa hapa. Wewe sasa kaa hapa, nataka uongee vile nimeongea, nataka uaddress Kenyans ama address fans wenye wanakuwatch. Hauwezi. Never condemn mtu ama kitu ambacho wewe mwenyewe huwezi ukakifanya. Unless unajiaminia kwamba utakifanya, basi kuja ni condemn, fanya. Mahali unaona sijafanya vizuri, kuja ufanye vizuri, urekebishe mahali nimekosea ama unirekebishe uniambie hapa unafaa kufanya hivi. Basi ati mtu anapobarikiwa, tunaanza kusema ametuibia pesa, ameiba sijui nini, ile pesa yenye amekuwa kitu begi ya mafuta ya nini, hivyo ndivyo tunasema. Guys, let's wake up. Anyway, to Team Morara, Team Injector, I can say thank you so much for supporting us. May Almighty God bless you. Let's continue subscribing to our channel. Guys, mahali tunaelekea sasa ni politics itashika kushika. Back to back, guys, tutawapatia content mpaka mchoke, na we are going to go back to Fambaya Diaries. I know most of you may miss, but trust me, guys, very soon we are coming back. Or I can say thank you so much. May God bless you. See you in our next video. Bye-bye.